minute and we'll be going over.
Men are all ready, sir.
Okay. Private Laurel, you stay here and guard this post until relieved from duty.
Gee, I wish I was going with you. Take care of yourself, won't you?
Don't worry about me, Stan. I'll be back. We'll all be back. So long, pal.
You brainless idiot! What are you trying to do? Put that thing down!
War is war, and I've got my orders.
What orders?
Orders to guard this post.
You blockheads! The war's been over for 20 years.
It doesn't make any difference. When I'm told to do something... What'd you say?
I said the war's been over for 20 years.
Huh?
The war's been over for 20 years.
Huh. How time flies. Just seems like yesterday. What'd you say?
You heard me.
Well, that accounts for it.
Accounts for what?
Well, everything's been kind of quiet around here lately. See, I didn't know...
You better come along with me and I'll see that you get back home.
War's been over. Well, it's better than staying here. Thanks very much. You sure the war's been over for 20 years?
Positively, I can prove it to you.
Well, if it isn't, somebody's going to get into an awful jam, and believe me, if you don't tell me to...
Well, good morning, James.
Good morning, Mr. Hardy.
What's the news this morning?
I was just reading about a fellow that stayed in the trenches for 20 years after the war and didn't know it was over.
Well, how in the world could anyone be so stupid?
I don't know. Here's his picture.
Oh. I can't imagine anybody being that dumb.
No.
Oh, yes, I can.
I don't see him just now, but you'll find him out there on the grounds somewhere.
Thank you.
Ollie!
Stan, don't get up now. Sit right there.
How'd you know I was here?
I saw your picture in the paper.
Did you?
Yeah.
How'd I look?
Well, you haven't changed a bit.
Neither of you, too. You know, if I hadn't have seen you, I never would have known you. Gee, I'm glad to see you.
I'm glad to see you, too.
Have you missed me all this time?
I certainly have.
I missed you, too. Well, how's things and everything?
Oh, everything's just fine. You know, I got married.
You don't tell me.
Yeah?
Who'd you marry, Fifi?
No,
Lulu?
no, no.
Camille?
No.
I know, Fanny.
No, you wouldn't know her. She's a local girl.
Oh,
You just wait till you meet her. She's one of the finest little women that ever lived.
don't tell.
And can she cook?
Can she?
Can she? You just wait till you put your legs under that table. Pardon me. You just wait till you put your leg under that table and put your teeth into one of those big, thick, juicy steaks covered with mushrooms and those hot biscuits oozing with molten butter and those 7-layer chocolate cakes swimming in whipped cream.
Any beans?
You can have beans if you want them. You can have anything in the world you want.
Well, it was nice of you to call, Ollie. Hope you'll come around and see me again sometime. I've got to be going now.
Where you going?
Well, it's called for mess, and I've got to eat.
You're not going in there. You're coming home with me to meet the missus.
Am I?
And have one of those big, thick, juicy steaks.
Thank you, Ollie.
You're welcome, Stan. I want you to remember, from now on, my home is your home.
Thank you, Ollie.
You're welcome, Stan. And I'm never going to let you out of my sight again.
Thank you, Ollie.
You're welcome, Stan. Just sit back and relax. Gee, I'm sure glad to see you, kid.
Gee, Ollie, you know, this is just like old times. You and I been together.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
We sure used to have a lot of fun, didn't we?
We sure did.
You remember how dumb I used to be?
Yeah?
Well, I'm better now.
Well, I'm certainly glad to hear it.
Say, will you wait a minute, Ollie?
What do you want?
I want to get a drink of water.
Now, you sit right there. I'll get the water for
Well, I
you.
only want to get over to the faucet.
Well, how can you get over to that faucet? Now, you just sit there and relax, and I'll be right back with you.
Hey! Come on, Lug. Get out of that chair.
But just a minute. What do you mean insulting my friend?
That's my buddy's chair, and I want it.
I'll give it to you, and I'm good and ready.
Is that so?
Yes, that's so.
Well, are you ready to give it to me?
On second thought, yes. Don't excite yourself, Stanley. I'll carry you. Just take it. Are you comfortable? Thank you, Stanley. I haven't got much farther to go now. Well, here we are.
Is this your car?
No, it belongs to the missus.
Sure is a pretty one.
It's practically new.
Look, you can see yourself in it.
Wait now. That's... Now I got it.
Oh, now I'm in it.
All right. There's one more. Come here. Why didn't you tell me you had two legs?
Well, you didn't ask me.
Get in the car.
Well, I've always had them. I don't know.
You are better now. Go and get the guy to move that truck. Go on.
The guy isn't there.
Well, move it yourself.
opened the door?
No one. It opens automatically.
How do you mean?
Well, you see that plate? Well, you just drive over that, the door opens.
I never saw anything like that before. Do you mind if I try it?
No, go ahead. Just drive straight back now. Now just drive it forward.
What's it say?
Out of order. Where'd you get that?
I found it on there. The fella put it on there when you were looking.
We'll have to walk up.
What floor do you live on?
The 13th.
Gee, that's quite a ways.
That isn't far. We'll be up there in a jiffy.
Will we?
What's 13 flights?
Going up? Five.
That's right. Won't be long now.
Six. How long did you say it would take us to get up there?
Oh, just a jiffy.
How far's a jiffy?
About 3 shakes of a dead lamb's tail.
Didn't think it was so far. Surprising the distance. Seven. How many with 7 makes 13?
6.
Swell, we've only got 6 more jiffies. Won't be long now.
Why don't you put some ice in it? Come on. Why didn't you tell me you had the key out of the lock?
Well, you didn't ask me.
Didn't ask me.
Gee, that's pretty underwear.
Don't get personal.
Mr. Hardy.
Oh. Yes, Mrs. Gilbert.
This note was left in my apartment by mistake.
Thank you.
Who's it from?
Why, it's from Lula. No, it isn't. How do I know who it's from? This is my friend, Mr. Laurel, Mrs. Gilbert.
How do you do?
Mrs. Gilbert is my neighbor across the hall. He's going to stay with us a while.
Oh, how nice. How's Mrs. Hardy?
Oh, she's still just as sweet as ever. I was telling him how wonderfully she could cook.
Oh, yes, I hear she's one of the best. I hope you have a pleasant stay. Goodbye.
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 Goodbye. Come here. Yoo-hoo! Oh, honey! Oh, darling! Oh, baby! She's gone shopping. She'll be back in a little while. Just sit down and make yourself at home.
Gee, you got a swell place here.
Well, it's comfy.
You got a cigarette?
I never smoke.
Do you think your wife would mind if I smoked my pipe?
Of course not. What's all right with me is okay with her.
I know, but a lot of dames are particular.
Well, she's not. That's one thing. What do you mean calling my wife a dame?
So you were going to be back in an hour.
Is that the wife?
Yeah.
I thought you said she was...
Oh, she's only clowning. Come on, I want you to meet her. You know, she's the greatest little kidder in the world. Oh, darling. Oh, sugar. I want you to meet my buddy.
Don't sugar me. And how often have I told you not to bring your tramp friends around here?
Oh, but dear, I haven't seen Stan in 20 years.
I couldn't see him in 100 years.
Oh, well, now, dear, this is no time for levity. I've been telling him how wonderful you could cook.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, why don't you fix one of those nice big juicy steaks, you know, in the 7-layer...
Who put that bee in your bonnet?
He did, didn't you?
Well, if you think that I'm going to stand over a hot stove and cook for every knick-knack you bring in here, you're crazy.
Excuse me.
But Toots, Stan is different.
I'll say he's different. And don't call me Toots.
What's a knick-knack?
Oh, a knick-knack's a thing that sits on top of a whatnot.
Huh.
And don't bother me. Oh.
All right, you try this with him for a while and see if I like it. Get out of here and you to your own places for a while. Try this with him and see how you like it. If you ever want to get tired, look for me. You'll find his mother. That's where you'll find me. But I am sick to death of trying to get all of this.
Every time I try to bring somebody home, you never appreciate what I'm talking about.
Will you shut up?
If you knew this boy better, you'd appreciate him more. I went all the way to the soldiers' home to get him to come up here and have one of your nice, big, juicy steaks. Come out of there. And put that pipe out. Now, listen, dear, let me explain about it. I think that you were done absolutely unfair. I'm willing to get on my hands and rescue you. If you'll just listen.
You get out of my way. I tell you,
Why don't you listen to me? Because I've rescued you.
I'm not going to stay here the rest of my life slaving.
I've been a loving, loyal husband to you, and you've done everything that I possibly could. And I don't think you're...
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Now, let that be a lesson to you.
What?
Never get married.
Well, thanks for the lovely time, and I'll be seeing you later.
Where are you going?
Well, I was going over to the soldiers' home.
What for?
Well, I want to get something to eat.
You'll have something to eat if I have to cook it myself.
Well, that's different.
Now, you go in and light the oven, and I'll set the table. We'll show her.
I'll say we'll show her.
Ha! Ha! You can't do that to me! Ha!
Hey, Ollie,
What?
you got a match?
What do you want with it?
I want to light the oven.
Oh, go and sit down. You get on my nerves. I'll light it. Anytime I want something done right, I always have to do it myself.
Oh.
Mr. Hardy, what in the world happened?
Well, you see, we had a slight accident. I was preparing to cook dinner for my friend, Mr. Laurel, and...
Oh, where's Mrs. Hardy?
well, luckily, she went out before this happened.
What would she think if she saw the place like this?
Oh, I shudder to think of it.
Well, let me help you clean it up before she comes back.
Well, that's awfully sweet of you, Mrs. Gilbert. Where have you been?
I thought there was an earthquake.
Well, go in and turn that gas off and get me a drink of punch. I'm a nervous wreck. And get one for Mrs. Gilbert. Never mind. I'll do it myself.
That's right. Whenever you want anything done right, always do it yourself.
Pardon us, Mrs. Gilbert.
Certainly. We'll have this place cleaned up in just a jiffy.
Turn that gas off. Get me some glasses. Oh!
Oh!
Gee, I'm awfully sorry, Mrs. Gilbert.
Oh, that's quite all right. Accidents will happen.
I'll get you something to dry your dress.
No, don't bother, Mr. Hardy. I'll just run over to the apartment. It won't take me a minute to change. I'll be right back.
Oh, that's awfully kind of you.
What happened?
what happened. Oh! Something wrong, Mrs. Gilbert?
Oh, I left my key in the apartment and it's locked. What'll I do?
Maybe Mrs. Hardy left something you can slip on. I'll look and see.
Oh, that's fine.
Here you are, Mrs. Gilbert. This is all I could find. Now, you go in there and take off that wet dress before you catch cold. And while you're changing, I'll phone downstairs and have them send you up a key.
Thank you, Mr. Hardy.
You're welcome, and thank you. Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello.
This is Mr. Hardy.
How'd you do?
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
That's good.
Nice weather we're having.
Oh, it's a beautiful day. Say, Mrs. Gilbert is locked out of her apartment, and will you please send up a key?
What's the number?
Just a minute. Hold on, right there. 1314.
Why should I send up a key? I've got nothing to do with it. If she came in here and...
Oh, Mrs. Gilbert, the phone is out of order, and I'll have to go downstairs and get your key.
Oh, would you do that, Mr. Hardy?
Oh, yes, I'll take the elevator. I'll be back in just a jiffy.
Don't take too long.
My wife, Mrs. Hardy, is coming.
Oh, that's all right. I can explain.
Not in my pajamas, you can't explain. You don't know my wife.
What are we going to do?
We've got to hide. Shh,
That's
quick,
a good
hurry
idea.
up and get...
I'll find a place myself.
You come with me.
Come on, quick, we can hide in here.
What happened here?
I don't know. We started to cook a steak.
Never mind that. Where's that big fat billiken of mine?
He's hiding.
Where?
In there.
Oh, he is he? Well, he won't be hiding long.
Get there and see my grandfather. The grandfather, laughed. He said, hello, sugar.
Don't sugar me. What's been going on in here and how come my car's all smashed?
Well, dear, I'll tell you something.
Sit down. Not only is my car all smashed, but I come back after 5 minutes and find the place entirely wrecked.
Well, if you'll
What
let
have you
me
been doing?
explain-
Sit down. Have you been playing soldier with this buddy
I
of yours
haven't said
here?
anything
I
at all
work
about it.
and
I
work
told
and
him
save
everything.
morning,
I
noon,
could
and
not
night,
deal with
trying to
it.
keep things
You
nice
said
for you.
about it.
And what happens, I leave and I
couldn't
come
get
back
home.
and
I
find
can
things
let me
wrecked.
tell you,
Sit down, I tell you. For the love of Mike, if
Well,
you
I know,
think
but
that
if
I'm
you let me
going
talk
home
to
to
you
mother
and
your
explain
drink,
to you
I'm
the
going to
whole
stay
thing,
right
but
here and
it's
silly
ignite
to go and argue
And the
like
first
that.
minute I turn, you bring a new compliment.
Oh, I wouldn't argue,
wreck
but
the whole place.
after
What do you
all,
think
if
I
you
am,
want to
anyhow?
argue-
That's all he is.
Oh, just
That's
because
all
I
your
came up
friend
here, I
is.
had nothing
If
to
you
do
think
with
I'm
it.
going home to Mother
Silly to go on arguing like that.
You're
What are you arguing about? I haven't said anything. You want me to go, I'll stay as long as you want. It's the silliest thing that I ever
I
heard.
come home and find nothing but a knick-knack like this and an animal cracker and nuisance termites. And I gave you $1.25 for
Silliest thing that I ever heard.
I come home and find nothing but a knick-knack like this and an animal cracker and nuisance termites and goodness knows what all
I wish you'd stop this argument. It's the silliest thing I ever...
What do you think I am anyhow, an idiot? Oh, no. Oh, no. I played fool you long enough. No more. No more of that.
I never heard anything like it in my life. It's like
that.
That's terrible.
Hey,
Say, where's the...
get up from there.
Oh, my
you-
beautiful stove.
Well, dear, now, let me tell you, why don't you figure that
All I
you
do
did
is
good
turn
for
my back
things?
for
You
5
don't give
minutes.
anybody a
You
chance to
take
talk
the
about the
place
whole
party.
thing. I was standing out there and I
I've
thought,
never
I'm
seen
all
anybody
shit.
I don't...
And another thing, I want to tell you something. When you
Sit
came
down.
back there,
Have all
get
that.
up! Let me tell you
I'm
something. Get up!
Sit down.
Get up!
down.
Now,
I'm
don't
the
you...
boss here. Sit down. You hear
Get
me?
up!
Oh,
Now, let me tell you another thing. I've got as much... Sit down! Get up! I'm sick and tired of this myself. Get up out of there! Then
She said I could
I
sit
don't care
down.
what she said.
If I want to sit down, I'll sit down. I can do just as I like, because she told me that I could sit...
dumbbell.
My beautiful
In the
phone.
trunk. Bring it. Come on. Get it here quick. Hurry up.
Now, let me tell you something once
Let me
and for all.
tell you something.
Sit down.
Yes.
Now, you listen to me. I want to...
Shush. I've got enough of this.
Oh, how dare you?
Tut, 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 tut. I'm going to leave for a change, and I'm not going home to Mother. Pardon us. Come, Stan. Ha, 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 ha.
Just a minute. Where do you think you're going?
I've packed my clothes, and I'm leaving for Honolulu.
Oh, you are? Who put that bee in your bonnet?
Stan did. He said that I should get out of here, and besides, the trip will do me good.
Oh, you did, huh?
Yeah.
So, not content with wrecking my home, you want to take my husband away from me, do you? I'll fix you.
There's going to be a fight.
Wait a minute, you're not going to get out of
Let
here.
me tell you something.
You're
I'm
going
just-
to tell me anything. You've been telling me for years. Oh, no, you haven't. That's Mike. You're not going to tell me anything. You've been telling me for years. Oh, no, you haven't. That's Mike. You're telling me for years. Oh, no, you haven't. That's Mike.
What's the matter? What's happening?
I'll tell you what's the matter and what's happening. That little worm, that grub, is trying to break up my happy home, but I'll fix him. I'll get the police and have him taken back to the old soldier's home, where he belongs. That's what I'm going to do.
So you're a homebreaker, huh? You look like the kind of a guy that would break up a happy home. Do you know what I would do to anybody that would come between me and my wife? I get my trusty fowling piece and I blow him to nothing.
Well, I had nothing to do with it. You see, he brought me here from the old soldier's home. He was going to give me a nice thick steak.
Never mind that. What happened?
Well, you see, he's got a girl in the trunk, and he didn't want his wife to know. So he asked me to...
What did you tell him that for?
Well, he asked me, didn't you?
When the wife's away, the rest will play. Listen, what do you want to bring him into your own home for? That's ridiculous. Why don't you come with me sometime? I know where there's a whole bunch of blondes. Say, listen, why do you think I go to polio all the time? You gotta come with me sometimes. You too. How do you do? I was gonna... My wife! You guys...